historic moment right now. We're in a process of transformation where younger entrepreneurs are redefining what success in business looks like.
Nowadays, we have 1.5 billion urban dwellers without access to a proper house.
And by 2030, that's going to grow to 4 billion. What we're going to do is create an automated process to fabricate the house that does two things. It reduces waste down to zero and also reduces the cost of labor because the process is automated.
With insects, they are extremely resource efficient and are comparable, if not far superior in terms of their nutrition. It is Aspire's vision to train and empower farmers in peri-urban and rural areas where insects are already consumed to be able to farm their own insects.
To give you a 100-year-old forest in just 10 years, or to give you a self-sustaining natural forest in just 2 to 3 years.
My name is Terry Dinkovich. I am a chemist. I invented a paper that purifies drinking water.
The Drinkable Book, the first ever tool that teaches safe water habits and is printed on technologically advanced filter paper capable of killing deadly waterborne diseases.
At what point are you on the side of being strictly a journalist, and what point are you allowed to take a more advocacy role? And I guess I'm both.
We create different opportunities for people everywhere, young people, to explore, to use critical thinking and design to solve problems in their communities.
Let me introduce you to Anatomia, a modern digital health tool for children. The gamer becomes a mechanic and goes inside the gigantic human-like robot. This way, he or she can see the...
Scopio is a diagnostic microscope which leverages modified hardware developed for DVD players to bring the hospital lab into your home, all from a drop of blood from one prick of a finger.
Entonces, lo que hago yo con insuficiencia cardíaca y nanotecnología es generar un nuevo método de transporte para moléculas, ya sea diagnósticas o terapéuticas, para eficientizar el proceso y la función de estas moléculas en el corazón.
So this invention is a malaria diagnostic device. It essentially diagnoses malaria cheaper, faster, and more accurately than the competition. It uses magneto-optical technology, which in layman's terms is magnets and a laser pointer.
We are revolutionizing philanthropy. We help donors give more strategically, and we help social ventures change the world more efficiently.
Empower people at the base of the pyramid, giving them the tools to find solutions for their own problems.
Fuck Nights nació de una noche de copas entre 5 amigos que decidimos contarnos nuestras historias de fracaso, así que decidimos replicar esa experiencia con más amigos. Desde entonces ya llevamos 2 años de hacer Fuck Nights cada mes, y este mismo modelo ya se ha replicado en 37 ciudades de 12 países.
I'm Skylar Tibbetts, and I'm the director of the Self-Assembly Lab at MIT. We want materials to be a new medium to make decisions, potentially be intelligent, reconfigure, change our lives. Materials that have robot-like things, but with no robots.
I collect clues from nature, and I try to make a story and explain how the universe works.
Green Vision is a tablet for blind people, so they will be able to read the book, surf the internet, chat with friends, navigate to their home, and all other things that you can do with your device.
Because in the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to lose our last wilderness area on Earth, and then we're lost. We need now to protect this place in Botswana for our global heritage, for our own sakes, because a wilderness place like this do not exist anymore in this world.
Para los Gifted Citizen 2014, que pasen por favor. Primero presentarles Sion. Gracias, es director de cómics. Gracias a ti, a Marcos, a toda la familia, a todo el grupo cómics, porque han creído y apostado en las ideas. Un aplauso, porque ellos dan $100,000 al ganador el día de hoy para que su iniciativa impacte a 10 millones de personas los próximos 6 años. El micrófono.
Es un privilegio para COMEX ser parte de este programa de Gifted Citizen, por medio del cual, apoyando a emprendedores sociales, podemos cambiarle la vida a por lo menos 10 millones de personas. Y es muy significativo además que se trata de proyectos que se convierten en realidad, no se quedan en buenas ideas. Es un proyecto que hemos apoyado desde su creación hace 3 años, este es el tercer año, y cada vez crece más en su participación. Nos sentimos muy orgullosos, privilegiados y honrados. Gracias.
Gracias a ti, gracias a ustedes. Ven por favor rapidísimo. Ella es nuestra directora de Gifted Citizen. Un aplauso por favor a Eddie. Eddie, ¿cuántos países participaron este año?
En la convocatoria estuvieron 70 países. Estuvieron 70 países de todos los rincones del mundo y estamos teniendo aquí la representación de 20 países con 33 finalistas extraordinarios.
Muchísimas gracias. ¿Cuánta gente solicitó el primer año?
500.
Gracias.
Pero
Señoras
este año 1300.
Muy bien, gracias. Viene gente de todo el mundo, fue muy difícil evaluar, son propuestas increíbles. Los invitamos a todos ustedes a que propongan iniciativas que le cambien la vida a 10 millones de personas. Thank you very much to all of you. You have been, now you're a winner. You have been creating ideas that will change the life of at least 10 million people in the next 6 years. And that's really changing the world. And I want to thank you with all my heart for being part of this community, because what you are doing and what we are doing is to create a family of people like you that are really changing the world. So, un aplauso para todos ellos. Solo como muestra, le voy a pedir a 5 personas que den 2 pasos para adelante. Skillar Tibbetts, de Estados Unidos, director de laboratorio de autoensamble. Cristina Edzvetanova, de Austria, ingeniera y cofundadora de Blitab. Mohamed Ashour, de Canadá, director ejecutivo y cofundador de Aspire. Andrew Bastagruos, de Reino Unido, cirujano y cofundador de PIC. Teresa Dankovic, de Estados Unidos, cofundadora de Page Drinking Paper, The Drinkable Book. I will ask you, you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to try really to impress us and to show to everybody why you are called a gifted citizen. Who would like to begin? Bas.
Can we pull up the video?
Un video, por favor.
I'm Skylar Tibbetts. I'm the director of the Self-Assembly Lab at MIT. The Self-Assembly Lab is housed at MIT's International Design Center, and we work on self-assembly and programmable matter or programmable materials specifically focused on industrial applications. So traditionally, smart materials are ways to program materials to have a memory or change shape. And just by geometry and responding to energy, you can get them to store information and reconfigure. And we're specifically interested in passive energy sources like heat, shaking, gravity, pneumatics, fluids. So with Stratasys, we started working on a project called 4D printing, and the idea was to take 3D printing and combine that with smart materials. The reason we called it 4D printing is because we wanted to add time to 3D printing, where materials change shape and reconfigure over time. So when you 3D print something, it's not done when you take it out of the bed, but that's the beginning of its life, and it can evolve and adapt and respond to you or how you're using it. And it's not that we're trying to replace all forms of assembly, but rather that this is an alternative method that we could use in conjunction with existing methods of assembly and try to use them as a new tool in our tool belt of how we make things at all scales, whether it be kind of the tinkerer DIY or really high precision industry applications. So since 4D printing was released roughly a year ago, many companies came to us and said, can you use real-world materials? Can we have real-world applications? And roughly 2 weeks ago, we introduced a whole suite of new materials from programmable carbon fiber, wood, and textiles. We're working on a number of different industrial applications like jet engine components with Airbus and supercar panels that change for aerodynamics. But we think this goes far beyond advanced industrial applications, where we can essentially make robots without traditional means of power, sensing, and actuation. So we can now have material robots that transform based on our built environment. Thanks so much.
Woo!
Hola. Every 5 seconds, someone in this world, somewhere, goes blind. Every minute, a child goes blind. And many people don't even know how to talk with blind people. Currently, there are more than 285 million blind and visually impaired people on this globe, and 1.5 million in Mexico. People can't realize the challenges blind people face every day until they have someone at home with these difficulties. 2 years ago, during my last year master studies at the Technical University of Sofia, a colleague of mine sitting next to me asked me to sign him online for innovation management course. I did it. But after that, I realized that he was blind. For the first time, we realized that something which is given to us, sighted people, turns to be a big challenge for others. But they couldn't give up technology we have nowadays. This was a trigger, how we started developing a device that will involve blind and visually impaired people in the modern social community we're living in today. So let me introduce you our innovative wish for change. BlightUp is the world's first tablet for blind people. BlightUp is an X-curve braille device for reading and writing that displays one whole page in braille code without any mechanical elements. Our innovative technology is based on smart liquid materials and hasn't been used till now for solving social issues. And together with the leading Nordic R&D lab, we're going to embed it in BlightUp. We're sure that BlightUp will change million lives. And we know that these million lives will be not only in Europe, not only US, they will be also in Mexico. So BlightUp will change lives, and braille books that are so expensive will finally can be transported all over the world, and there will be no copyright issues. So I would like to thank you and invite you to support us, and be sure that BlightUp will maintain gainful employment for a lot of blind people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. There are 1 billion people in the world who suffer from food insecurity. Of those, 200 million live in urban slums. They do not have access to clean, safe, nutritious, and healthy food. So we asked ourselves, what is a nutritious source of food that is delicious, that is culturally appropriate, and that can be rapidly deployed everywhere around the world? The answer is insects. As it turns out, according to the United Nations FAO, there are 2.1 billion people around the world who consume insects. Of those, 140 million live in urban slums, and of those, 40 million are within reach of our impact. And why do people consume insects? Well, the first and actually obvious answer, once you try chapulines in Oaxaca, is because they're delicious. The second reason is because they're extraordinarily nutritious. So if so many people consume insects, why do they have food insecurity? The answer is because they don't have access to these insects given how seasonal they are. They're only available for a few months out of the entire year. Because of that, they are painstakingly hand harvested, which makes them extremely expensive. Our solution, therefore, is to farm insects on a year-round basis. By developing this technology and empowering communities to farm insects for consumption, not only are we directly addressing the problem of food security, we are also empowering communities to solve their own problems amongst themselves. This is an aerial view of a slum we work in Ghana, and you see here our team training a community of women, most of whom are the most enthusiastic entrepreneurs and the most reliable on the ground. And through a program where we provide them with a technology, we enable them and empower them to be able to provide their own families with this source of nutrition that has the capacity to address morbid conditions like iron deficiency anemia amongst girls and women. I am proud to say that we have been recognized for what we have done by many extraordinary individuals. And in a world that is rapidly urbanizing and growing, at a time where access to critical resources like land and water are diminishing, there is a need now more than ever for a source of food that is eco-friendly. And this is where things get really exciting. Compared to the farming of traditional livestock, insects require drastically less land, feed, water, and energy than it would take to produce an equivalent amount of beef. I'm honored to say that we have an extraordinary team around the world in Ghana, in Oaxaca, Mexico, and most recently in the United States performing this exceptional work. And we are very proud to reach 35 million people in the next 5 years.
Bravo.
Thank you very much.
I had the pleasure of meeting these two ladies in my time in Kenya. They are 2 of 39 million people in the world who are blind. 4 in every 5 people who are blind from conditions that we already know how to cure or prevent. Knowing this, 2 years ago, I moved with my young family to Kenya. We ran 100 eye clinics across the Rift Valley with the central question of determining why were people going blind and what could we do. The challenges were great. When we did get there and set up our high-tech equipment, we never had a good power supply. There are more people in Kenya that have access to a mobile phone than clean running water. And so knowing this, we developed Peak, a smartphone-based technology that could reach everyone. These two ladies, this was the moment that they realized they were sat next to each other. They had been the best of friends, but they hadn't noticed, because they'd both gone blind, that they were together as we took them for treatment. We're able to deliver diagnostics in patients' homes, by teachers, by community healthcare workers, and we can explain the information in non-medical jargon in a way that is interpretable for carers and for patients themselves. Once we've determined somebody has poor vision, we press the mouse button and it doesn't work.
La siguiente gráfica, por favor, en la producción.
Hope you give me some extra time for that. We need to be able to determine why do people have poor vision. So we need to look inside the retina. It has more information about the human body than anything else. So we developed 3D printed prototypes which could clip onto a smartphone and turn it into a camera which can see inside the eye. We took this technology to Kenya and we've tested it in communities compared to gold standard tests to see how effective it is. And what we've found is for the cost of the smartphone and very cheap components, it's 50 times cheaper and comparable in quality. So when I first went to Kenya, we had $150,000 of equipment and 15 people. Now all that's needed is a single community healthcare worker on a bike with a smartphone. The whole thing, $500. No longer do we worry about power. We use the energy of solar. We can share expertise all over the world, so that remote person who's going blind unnecessarily can receive expert treatment. We can identify them on Google Maps because every examination is geotagged. And for those ladies, this is the kind of result that you expect.
Bravo! Wow!
Hello, I'm Terry Dinkovich. Oh, sorry. We'll go back. Sorry, this is... Can someone assist me here? Excuse me, can I have some time?
Ayúdale, por favor. Dile cómo es.
Sorry, I wanted to go through the slide in order. Am I good? Okay, so hi, I'm Terry Dinkvich. I invented the paper in the Drinkable Book, which this keeps on repeating. I'm sorry, I'll just talk without the images. So the Drinkable Book is the very first water filter book. So what does that mean? Each page is a water filter. So how does that work? It kills bacteria as you pour water through it. So you might be wondering, how does this work? Paper doesn't usually do this. Well, this paper is coated with silver nanoparticles, which is highly toxic to bacteria, but basically harmless to humans. So I've worked on this during my PhD at McGill University and showed it was a great success in the lab. And I've been privileged to bring this to the real world. I've traveled to South Africa, Ghana, and my partners have been in Haiti and Kenya. And well, you can see up there, soon to be in Bangladesh. And we have excellent results in the field, and we're still doing lots of tests to make sure that it's going to be a really good product. It's in development at this current phase. So you can see up here, I'll talk about this slide. Our next study is a pilot study for the actual users, like get people's feedback on, is this going to be a product that they like to use? What sort of improvements can we make? And hopefully within the next couple of years, this will be something that will be available to be purchased. And we really think that it's going to make a big impact. The cost per sheet is, well, this is still not a production yet, but the material cost is only a few cents per sheet, and this is, you know, several filters per book. There's about 50 filters, so you can do the math. This is a very cheap product, and it can provide clean water for at least a year for a community, or sorry, for a household. So we think that this can make a huge impact in improving people's health. Thank you.
Un aplauso, por favor. Queremos agradecer a Tania Moss que por favor nos muestre, ella diseñó, ¿por qué se te ocurrió este diseño y para los Gifted Cities? Ahí están allí. Vas.
Antes que nada, somos mega fans de este proyecto, somos adoradores de la Ciudad de las Ideas y el colaborar con este proyecto se nos hizo la parte más natural de los valores de nuestra empresa. El poder pensar en la creatividad, en la curiosidad como valores intrínsecos de la vida es de lo que yo me rodeo todos los días. Y pues el mundo que es el diseño de este año y las mariposas que representan los valores de mi marca es lo más importante que se nos hizo fácil para darles. Todos estos medallas es una para cada uno de los participantes. Felicidades a todos. Todos ya son ganadores y este es el trofeo para el ganador.
Como pudieron darse cuenta con la muestra que acabamos de tener, proyectos realmente importantes, proyectos trascendentes, y no fue fácil la decisión. Tuvimos un jurado integrado por gente muy destacada. Tuvimos el apoyo de Singularity University a través de Salim Ismail, y la deliberación no fue fácil.
¿Quieres te pregunto? Rápido compartirles que hace 2 días 5 de los Gifted Citizens fueron recibidos por el príncipe Carlos de Inglaterra, porque es un proyecto que encantó. Un aplauso para ellos 5, por favor. Señoras y señores, es el momento. Una persona recibe una mención honorífica, lo cual es un certificado que recibirá y que dirá, estuviste a punto de ganar. Y el otro se llevará $100,000. Para que se den una idea, $100,000 es el premio Es uno de los premios más codiciados que se puede dar en literatura. Es realmente un monto muy importante, pero nuestra propuesta y el trabajo que se hace en Gifted Citizen es que le da seguimiento a lo que se está haciendo para que estas cosas se lleven a cabo y en 6 años se cambie la vida de 10 millones de personas. Le voy a pedir a Comics, a través de Sion, que nos diga quién es la mención honorífica y que por favor esa persona dé 3 pasos al frente.
We have an honorary distinction for you guys, one of you. It's for John Lewandowski. Please step forward. It's for you. Can you tell us about your project a little bit?
Hello. Hello, my name is John Lewandowski. I'm a PhD student at MIT in Boston, United States. I'm working on a reusable malaria diagnostic that uses refrigerator magnets and a laser pointer to diagnose the disease better, faster, and cheaper than the competing technologies, and in a way that can do it an asymptomatic infection so you can truly eradicate the disease. Thank you.
Felicidades. Y el ganador que se lleva hoy $100,000 es
Andrew Basteros.
Dale el cheque. Un aplauso para Andrew, que ha inventado algo para que se prevenga la ceguera en todo el mundo. Thank you, everybody. All of your winners, really. Would you like to say something very quickly?
This is a great honor. I'm mostly grateful for the great people I've met whilst being here, and we will use this to do everything we can to eradicate unnecessary blindness. Thank you very much.
Bravo.